My church, I love my church.
When times get hard in rural Minnesota, people pray. But sometimes even churches get caught in the ripples of changing economies. That's what happened to a little congregation near Canby. It was a place in the land of 10,000 stories that did not appear to be headed toward a happy ending until a country church at the end of its road found a highway to heaven. For 45,656 mornings, there's been a rock
solid, yes,
in the township of Marble.
It really is a landmark.
Sturdy as the Scandinavian immigrants who settled this land, the Marble Lutheran Church has stood its ground through downpours and droughts, certainty and doubts. 200 months of Sundays, and then some.
Well, it's 125 years. Now this is our anniversary this year.
Delphine and Elwood Bakke were married in the Marble Lutheran Church. Delphine was baptized and confirmed here.
Well, Mom, you can go first then.
The kind of place one could spend an eternity.
Yeah, that's our stone that me and my wife put up.
Which makes Delphine and Elwood all the more sad to think their church will be gone before they are.
We're going to miss the church, that's for sure.
Yeah.
How they agonized over the decision.
Yeah, here's the entryway to Marble Church.
But what choice did they have?
We ran out of people. We're all old, too.
What choice but to dissolve their congregation when Christ had as many apostles at his Last Supper
praise the Lord,
as Marble Lutheran has active members.
with the 5 or 10 people that come here to worship, we're a lot like a family. That's going to be different.
So far from how things started, the people of Marble Lutheran outgrew their first church, moving into their new building in time for their 50th anniversary in 1929, when 408 members and their guests posed for this photo. Not one among them who could have foreseen the challenges ahead for their little house of worship on the prairie.
For the churches, it's just a victim of the changing in society.
A change that saw small farms swallowed by big ones, and more young people leaving greener pastures in search of bigger cities. Since 1980, Lincoln County has lost nearly a quarter of its people. But it's the relics of rural surrender that pained the members of Marble Lutheran the most. How could they allow this to happen to their church?
We know when we're gone that there's probably nobody that's going to step in and take good care of it.
And that's when Marble Lutheran Church was shown the way.
It's going to be the first thing that people see when they come on the property.
100 miles north of Marble Lutheran sits the shores of St. Andrew.
Hi, Mama.
A Lutheran church camp
Hi.
without a Lutheran church.
Give me a high five.
I said, would you ever be interested in seeing your church continue its life, serving people in a new location?
And we thought, well, maybe that's where it should go.
And just that quick, it was settled. Marble Lutheran Church, which hadn't baptized a new baby in 14 years, would spend its future filled with children.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing. It's just wonderful.
At the end of this month, the rock of their lives will roll up the road.
It's going to be difficult.
Family. We're like family out here.
You know, for some of these people, that's the only church they've known in their whole life.
So consider the significance of what they did next, taking $70,000 left in their treasury to pay for the 100-mile move.
My church, my dear old
Which
church.
brings us to the September Sunday, when Marble's little congregation swelled by loaves and fishes proportions.
My great-grandfather who built the pulpit and the baptismal fount. I see 6 generations of his family here today.
Mama taught me how to pray before I reached the age of 7.
300 people in all for an old-fashioned, won't even fit in the basement church luncheon.
No more fruit salad.
So many descendants.
Descendants and neighbors and a parade of former pastors.
Marble congregation is a congregation with a heart.
Together they filled the church the way they used to, a Lutheran in every seat.
God be with you all.
A perfect cap on 125 years.
Happy anniversary, Marble Lutheran.
But for the fact that when it was over,
I now declare this congregation to be closed.
The Marble Lutheran congregation was no more.
My church, I love my church.
They'll still be able to visit their cemetery, but never again will this Marble Township hilltop
I'll miss worshiping with you guys.
be so alive.
It's a big part of our life.
Walking out the door was the hardest. Just walking out the door.
In the land of 10,000 stories, theirs is worthy of an Easter Sunday sermon.
That was really sad.
Well, this was a beautiful day.
But it'll carry on. It will carry on.
The members of the little congregation who so loved their church, they gave it away.
And Jesus is our priest.
Indeed, Marble Church did go on a week-long road trip.
Just about ready to roll.
Creeping along for 100 miles from the prairies to the lakes till it reached the shores of St. Andrew Bible Camp near New London. The folks at the camp recently sent us a photo of the church nestled into its new home. Its doors always open to its faithful former congregations.